What you got, man?
Hey, what you got?
What do you want to know?
Well, you got Gamboa this fight. We can start there. You obviously believe Gamboa can beat Tank, and the last time I saw you, you were standing behind Tank's team, and Tank was like, "Oh, I'm about to stop this guy," like it was just going to be a walk in the park. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Feel free to elaborate on that.
I feel that I think if we take him out in deep water, place he never been before, and the same thing that Sugar Ray Leonard said about Tommy Hearns, I'm gonna take you in deep water and drown you, because Tommy was knocking out everybody in 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. Same thing, Tank did the same thing. So when you start talking about round 8, 9, 10, and 12, it's a whole different ball game, and his trainer's never been there before. I like Kevin T. Model Ford, and but he's gonna be in deep water his damn self. So it's all the way we play the game, the chess game early in the fight.
So you plan on mashing the gas in the middle rounds to the championship rounds and see where he's at. Hopefully you can steal some rounds early behind the jab, things like that.
Well, it all depends on how the fight goes. Experience pays off in a great way, because this boy is very versatile. He can fight inside, outside, got angles.
Gamboa, you mean?
Yeah, Gamboa got wide punches, got short punches, got straight punches. So we've been working on a lot of different things, a lot of different angles, a lot of different things we've been working on in the gym. He's been just fantastic, went to a whole new level.
Mm-hmm. Now, they've compared him to Mike Tyson, and you know Mike Tyson very well. How would you compare Tank Davis to Mike Tyson, to a young Mike Tyson?
Well, one thing you could say he's a young Mike Tyson or a miniature Mike Tyson because of his punching ability. And he's got real short punches, but he's a long ways from being a Mike Tyson. Even Mike Tyson weighing 130, 135 pounds, because he's not technically as sound as Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson doing a whole lot of things in the ring that he didn't have to do in his fights because he didn't have anybody to bring it out of him. So as far as punching power go and pound for pound and short punches, then you can make the comparison.
Any glaring weaknesses in Tank besides his lack of experience and going late rounds?
Well, it's always a weakness when a fighter piles up a bunch of early knockouts, because that's what they depend on. And what happens is they start to slacken up on their training and take everything for granted. If you look at George Foreman, he fought Jimmy Young. George Foreman was a big puncher, knocked a brick out of the concrete wall. Jimmy Young couldn't bust a grape, but he beat George Foreman. You look at Tyson against Holyfield. Everybody was scared of saying Tyson gonna knock Holyfield out in 2 or 3 rounds. Holyfield withstood the power and stayed there. You look at the hardest heavyweight ever threw a punch in the world, Ernest Shavers. Big Ernest Shavers, they said was gonna be the next Joe Louis. He ran up on a little white boy by the name of Jerry Quarry. He got knocked out. So I'm not power helps, but then you got to go to the power. If you challenge the power, if you look at Charlo when he fought Tony Harris, for a few rounds there, Tony Harris was making him back up, which he was going to the power. He wasn't afraid of it. He was winning. Only when he went the opposite direction, he started losing the fight. But we're not concerned about the power. We got good defense, and we're ready to go.
Now, Mike Tyson came to Deontay Wilder's last fight, so the obvious comparisons and conversations began. Who would win and how? Deontay Wilder versus Mike Tyson. How do you see that fight playing out?
Well, I see Wilder probably before the fight starts. I see him running out the dressing room, crying, having heart attacks, convulsions, everything before the fight even starts. See, he never faced anybody like that. He never faced a guy like Mike Tyson. Okay, the 20-year-old Mike Tyson is the most dangerous fighter you ever want to come up against. But he never fought a guy who's actually trying to break your bones. He got the little small hips and stuff. He's a big, tall guy, but he got a lightweight hips. And Mike Tyson break all this up, all the broken ribs and everything. We got ready to fight the kid in Detroit. I told him, you're not gonna win this fight, Mike, unless you break something, because you're not your hometown of Detroit, Joe Louis, and Joe Louis will break bones. So I said, you got to break these bones in order to win. So he broke the boy's 5 ribs and his vertebrae in his neck. So here's a guy who can break bones. So Wilder can't withstand anything like that. Come on now, he can't take that guy. Wilder's a class A- fighter. We talking about A fighters.
Really?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, why do people question Mike Tyson's resume so much? Because people say he fought Evander Holyfield late, fought Lennox Lewis late, never fought Riddick Bowe. We know they possibly was friends, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, when you start talking about, anytime there's a big fight being made, okay, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that you all don't know about and that the fans don't know about, okay? People don't realize that Mike only trained 3.5 weeks fight Holyfield the first time. Okay, I almost lost my job because I made a statement that they should postpone this fight for at least 6 more weeks to get this guy a chance to really get ready. And it wasn't all his fault because he was in court up north doing a lawsuit with, I think it was, who was the trainer at the time? Kevin Rooney. So Mike wasn't able to train properly. And we had a guy out of California by the name of John Bray, a heavyweight. 2 weeks before the fight, he hit Mike with a right hand and really hurt him. Mike was all over the ring. So I stopped the workout for a minute and then let him finish the round. And so the manager asked me, he said, what do you think? I said, in the old days, we call this a wake-up call. Your fight is not ready. We need some time off. So they went and talked to Don about 6 more weeks on it. Then the word got back to me. You train the fighter, okay, we'll take care of the business. But now I even explained to Holyfield later on. I said, you know what? I said, I understand where he was coming from now because you had a $300 million fight and you weren't canceling that fight. So as a trainer, I'm looking about winning, winning and this type of thing. But there's a business side too. So the business side took over. But 20-year-old Mike Tyson would have killed him.
Really?
Oh, come on. It's different between 20-year-old fighter and a 32-year-old fighter. The 20-year-old Mike Tyson would have killed him.
What was the difference between the two Mike Tysons? You know, post jail and the Mike Tyson I grew up watching.
The only thing I can tell you about what he told me, okay? He told me when he came out of Indiana, he said, you know, I'm not the same fighter that I used to be. I said, why is that, Mike? He said, because they broke me in the penitentiary. They broke my spirit, which means they broke his spirit, which means they broke him mentally. So he said, I'm not the same fighter, but I can fight. He said, but I'm not the same fighter. And if you watch him real close, his performance was a little bit different. I made him a little bit more methodical. Before he used to fight in a rage, so I made him more methodical than the rage fighter. So, yeah.
What was your exact title with Mike Tyson?
I was assistant trainer. I didn't want the head trainer job.
Why not? Why not?
Because I knew Mike was a fuck up. And when the fighter fuck up, he can't fight. He ain't fire the fighter. Somebody got to get fired. So he had to be the head trainer. If you take a look at it, 2 or 3 head trainers went through that. And he understood. He asked me the same thing. I said, I'm stay right in my slot. And by me being in my slot, I was there for 10 years when most of them was there for 2 or 3 years.
Define fuck up, Mike Tyson.
Well, you know. Well,
you lead me to the water. You're doing a great job with this interview, by the way. This is an easy interview with great content.
I mean, you know, if somebody approach him the wrong way and push him in the corner, he's going to react physically. Okay, if you react physically, then he's going to jail. This type of thing, all this kind of stuff. You know, he's young. He's ferocious, and he would fuck up.
How much did y'all cover up? Percentage-wise, I don't want to know what, but I'm just...
Well, it's a lot of stuff that.
Because I was raised in Harlem, so he was coming to Harlem a lot.
There's a lot of stuff be going on, but and the same thing. You know, a lot of people. So Mike Tyson was rough. Mike Tyson was this. They don't know George Foreman was the same way.
Yeah, he was.
But they covered
and then
up
he waved the flag.
They
and then he
covered up
said,
a lot for George Foreman.
Yeah.
So, but those kind of fighters, I like them because they'll fight. I like Michael, one of the greatest fighters ever lived. I love him next to Jesus Christ.
Really?
That's right. Great person, great human being, contributed and donated a lot of money to a lot of different organizations. People don't give him credit for that. He's a very humble person. But he's been misled on certain things. But right now he's living a good life.
Yeah, he seems happy.
Happy.
Selling marijuana, doing podcasts, having a great time.
He can smoke marijuana when they want to. So he's a great person.
Mike Tyson, 2019, runs through the heavyweight division, you think?
Oh, without a doubt.
Really?
Easy. Even the Mike Tyson who came out of incarceration. Yeah, I mean, come on.
Really?
He walked straight through him.
Wow.
He walked straight. It's no contest.
What do you think what impact did the Muslim faith have on Mike Tyson, you think? I remember that picture very visually when he walked out of jail.
I think that it slowed him down mentally and made him think a lot more. I mean, he was living close to the faith when he got out. What is the drinking and a lot of different things he wasn't doing. He had a chance to see life different, but overall, you know, it was great for him.
Yeah, because you said jail broke him, and I didn't see him in jail, but the first picture I saw of him coming out of jail was the Kufi, I believe, walking behind the FOI, if I'm not mistaken. That's why I was trying to connect the two.
You know, a lot of people don't understand this, and I say it all the time, that people like Tyson, people like Einstein, people like Michael Jackson, all these type of people live in a different world from what the average person does. Okay, they see things different. They live in a whole different world because they're genius. They got their genius in them.
I say this all.
So you don't understand, Mike Tyson was a genius. He wasn't just ordinary athlete, a tough athlete. This kid was a genius.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, you're talking about something. Let me tell you something else a lot of people don't understand. With all that being said, he was very, very intelligent. Very intelligent. You know, I see him sit there and have a conversation with John F. Kennedy Jr. once in Las Vegas, and they was talking about the Kennedy family. And they went farther back in history, and all at once, John Jr. said, "You know more about my family than I do," because Tyson started naming family members that he didn't know about.
Sure.
So it's very, very smart. When you talk about Biden, Lennox Lewis, I will eat your heart out and all this. He was talking about the great conqueror Napoleon. See, that's what Napoleon said. You know, he would go and conquer different countries, and he would get his victim and eat their heart and all this, so they can't come back. So all this is part of history. Everybody going, this guy's crazy. No, he wasn't crazy. He just wasn't educated in the field. You know, but he's very, very intelligent.
Were you with him in Japan that night?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't with him.
Okay.
I got with him right after he got out of Indiana.
Okay. Now, the reason why I say you brought that up, because I've had conversations and people couldn't grasp what I was saying. I was saying Prince, Michael Jackson, now Mike Tyson. I said the reason why, because they can't function in mediocrity.
Right.
So they need a codependent, like a drug, like being over women, whatever the case may be. I'm glad you brought that up. Please talk about that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. They live in a whole different world.
Yeah.
And then imagine you and Michael Jackson. You just can't walk out here and walk down the streets and this type of thing. I mean, you can't come up with songs like Thriller and come up like these different songs and performance and all that. That's not for average people. You know, that's not for average people. I don't know if anybody believes in God, the universe, but these guys are different. So being different, you expect them to walk the street like you do. They don't work like that.
Right.
See, Mike Tyson's different. They don't sleep much. You know, there was times Mike would stay up 3 days in a row. He would stay up 3 days, couldn't rest, couldn't sleep. You know, and then you put pressure on them. From conversation-wise, they react differently. So you had to know how to deal with them. Especially Mike had a hand suggestion like this. He would do this. You try to talk to him, you do this. That means you leave him alone. At that time, walk away from him.
Okay.
But for the most part, everybody tried to force it. Well, yeah, but you got to do this. And at that time, I just said, here it comes. Boom! You know?
Yeah, then an explosion occurs.
Yeah. I remember I once told him, Mike, we was in training in Arizona. And dealing with a fighter, when you wrap a fighter's hand, it'll tell you a lot of different things. So,
very intimate. That's probably the most intimate moments you may have with a fighter.
That's right.
Wrapping
He'll tell you things you normally wouldn't tell you. So
Yeah.
I remember I was wrapping his hands. He said, you know, Stacey, I don't mind doing interviews, but I just get tired of all this. You know, they just need to leave me alone. So I'm wrapping his hand. So Mike, let me explain something to you. I said, I understand where you're coming from. I said, but you know what your job is? He said, what's my job? I said, your job is to drive pretty cars, fornicate with pretty women, knock out motherfuckers, and keep a pocket full of spending money. That's all you're supposed to do right now. And when you're done fighting, then you can do this other stuff. Now, he can relate to that, because that's what he was doing anyway.
How's your relationship with Don King today?
Great.
Awesome.
Don's still going good.
Because the last time I saw you was Bermain Stavern?
Stavern, probably.
The last time I saw you, I covered you in the fight, was Bermain against Wilder. I think it was. I'm not.
No, I was there, but I didn't work that corner that night.
Okay, but I remember seeing you around Bermain Stavern. I'm not sure when, but maybe Chris Arreola. No.
Chris Arreola, no, I was there.
Okay, I probably interviewed you with Ken Miller. That's what it was. Yeah, Ken.
Okay.
Yeah. Ken is my man.
That's your man?
Yeah, Ken is my guy. He got me in the media. Ken got me in the media.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he got me in. Yeah, I was the runner, so I'm not recognizable to you, but I was the guy that did all his grunt work.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I'm going to introduce this young man. Najee. Come here. I'm going to introduce this young man. Right. This is the next great heavyweight.
Okay.
This is the next great heavyweight. Take it from me. Nigel Lopez. From right here. The next great heavyweight. He just went into the Olympic trials. He's coming on Olympic trials.
How'd you do?
I lost. I won the first. They lost the second. Actually, yeah, but I couldn't come back to the tournament.
So we left the tournament, so I ain't going with. But I had 6 world champions, heavyweight world champions. It's gonna be my 7th one right here. Nigel Lopez.
You even sound like Don when you talk about fighting.
Yeah, Nigel Lopez. Everything is beautiful.
I appreciate you. Good luck with Gamboa, Tank Davis.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's a small mountain to climb in your eyes. Maybe a.
You know what? You heard they called Tank the Gorilla, right? They called him the Gorilla. What did Ali call Joe Frazier? I will destroy the Manila Gorilla. And that's what we're gonna do with Tank Davis. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Stacey. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.